Nice.
Is this good?
Yes. Good morning, Miss Mercedes. How are you today?
I'm doing very well.
Yes. This morning, actually, I filmed a little bit of your beautiful garden flowers. They're so gorgeous, so beautiful. That make me very sad.
Why?
Because I don't know how long the flowers can last.
Well, we have seasons here. It'll get cold soon.
I mean, it will never come back again.
Why is that? The cats really do go do a number on them.
No. I mean, it could be the end of the world. You know, many kids in the world are still very small. And the truck gets started again. And
I think we need better timing on this.
Yes. Huh? Okay, but he's open the gate now. The reason that I'm so sad is that I do think this time, your Uncle Trump withdrew another treaty again. But this time, it's not like any other treaties, only about money. But this time, it's about life and death of the whole humankind.
Okay. So tell me more.
Okay. The name of the treaty is called
Intermediate Range Nuclear Force Treaty.
Yes.
Now I understand.
Say it again.
Intermediate Range Nuclear Force Treaty.
Okay. Before we talk about my concern, and it's also a concern of every single person in the whole universe. Okay. We must know a little what the treaty is about.
Yeah.
You okay?
Yeah, that would be very helpful.
You tell us.
Okay. So this is the treaty that was made in 1986 between Reagan and Gorbachev. And this was between the former USSR, Soviet Union, and the then and now United States.
Still United States.
Still, yes. Then and now, still United States. So there are three different kinds of missiles. Okay, you have the short range, the intermediate range, and the long range. And it is the intermediate range that are considered the most dangerous because they are between 500 and 5,000 kilometers that they can, from takeoff to landing. So these are the ones that you don't have enough time to shoot down. You can't see them coming. Boom, everybody's dead. Too late. Nobody could leave. Nobody could evacuate. And nothing could be done. It couldn't be shot down. The short ones, you have to be within a certain range. You can see them. They can see you. And you can do whatever needs to be done. Long range, they can see it coming and shoot it down. Boom. But these intermediate range missiles are the most dangerous and can do the most damage. So they came up with a treaty, said we won't make any, you won't make any, and that's that.
Yes.
And this was during the Cold War, so I don't know how many of you watching, but I know that we do have a mature audience. Probably remember that. I'm not sure. It depends on where you're from, what kind of information you have access to. But I do remember this even as a little girl. I remember this happening because I remember seeing Gorbachev and watching this on TV, and I do also remember the Berlin Wall coming down and all of these things. There it goes. You can hear it now.
Okay, here we go. Okay.
Bye-bye.
So, thanks to this treaty, and US and Soviet destroyed 2,700 missiles. And they both agreed from now on we both should not make any of such weapons, and we both have the right to check each other. This is very good. That is the greatest time in the human history that ended of the Cold War. And it was also because of the Cold War, Russia was have the arm race with USA, and the economy went collapsed. That brought Soviet Union to the end.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yep.
Okay. So far so good. Very good. Why Trump want to? Why your uncle Donald Trump want to withdraw from the treaty?
He wants to withdraw because guess what? Guess who's making these intermediate range missiles?
Yeah, okay. Anyway, this is not something new. Actually, Obama did some job too. 2014, Obama discovered, hey, you guys, you are violating our treaty. You are making some intermediate range missiles.
Yes.
Okay, missile, same thing. Okay.
Potato, tomato, tomato.
Okay. So when I say missile, it means her missile. When she says missile, meant my missile. Okay.
Gotcha.
So I don't know. That was Putin or something. I don't know. So, oh, you made the treaty with Soviet. That's not my name. My name is Russia. Russia. I don't know. Of course, I made it. Anyway, Obama did say something. But I don't know how much he did.
Yeah, he said a lot of stuff. Trump says a lot of stuff too. Oh God.
But Trump say and he do at the same time.
Yeah.
This guy.
Yeah.
Okay? So that is not the real issue. The real issue is there is a country which does not belong to the treaty, and by that time 1987 was not strong enough. And that country will still receive aid from Japan and receive help from US and get their economy built up.
Why were they receiving aid? Did they have people who were in need? They couldn't feed their people? What was going on?
Anyway, that country was China. China was building up its economy, very busy, and gradually, yes, with the help from Japan, the US, and of course, with the great people of China and our great leader, Communist Party, and China getting greater and greater and greater. Then they made a lot of mid-ranged missiles.
Have you ever? I just want to ask you a question, and our viewers, okay? Have you ever had a friend or an acquaintance who they were down on their luck, maybe out of a job or something, and you said, oh, hey, I can offer you this or that, maybe money, maybe some clothing for their kids, maybe something, you can help them out. And then later on you find out that they've been taking and doing something else with these items, or they didn't really need, or that they were talking bad about you behind your back, and it came back to you, and then you found that they weren't really your friend after all. I mean, it's something that we call a backstabber. Have you ever experienced that?
Yeah, I did give a violin to someone who said he loves violin so much and he could not afford and this, that. And then he sold the violin with money and told people, Dan, you're so stupid and so easy to be cheated, and let's do it. Okay, yes.
That's besides the point. I just wanted to give an example.
Okay.
That's all. I just wanted, something that we call a backstabber here.
Anyway, China has made, it says, 2,000 mid-range missiles with nuclear head. Some with nuclear head. I don't know. I'm not an expert, okay? But it is said to be true that China is the only country in the world now exporting these weapons.
Exporting intermediate range missiles.
Yes,
to other countries.
Yes, they sell it to make money. Okay.
Of course. Yeah.
Of course, U.S. is a young country. They try to be a gentleman, try to keep their words. So
it's not about being young or anything, because the U.S. is actually much older than New China. Much older.
Yeah, in other sense, okay? Anyway, U.S. keep the words and they don't produce this middle-ranged missiles. But U.S. did made something which is called THAAD. THAAD is a system.
Actually, I would put up the letters. Say the letters. and put it on screen too.
Okay, we will. Okay,
Yeah.
so that is a system that can block the missile when a missile came. Okay, so a couple of years ago, U.S. put this system in South Korea. Okay, that made China so angry, and they started a huge demonstration and against South Korea. And they so angry, and they stop all the tourism, everything possible to harm South Korea.
So hold on. This thud is purely defensive.
Yes,
So it won't do anything if missiles aren't shot at South Korea, correct?
because that's my point.
So why is China so mad over South Korea defending itself?
This is exactly the same thing with the trade war, with the trade conflict. U.S. only raise a tariff. Okay, as far as you don't sell to U.S., you have no problem, right?
Exactly. I mean, it doesn't make sense if you're going to do business. It's just like when taxes go up or when inflation happens. I mean, you don't. It's just a cost of doing business, a cost of life.
The U.S. put on tariff on importing is protecting the U.S. It's not attacking China. But China is getting so offended. Oh, you bad guy, you know. So anyway, now what is going on is the situation in South China Sea. Okay, China does not only have these mid-range missiles, they are building very strong navy. Okay, plus, in addition to this, they have 6 man-made islands in South China Sea, which some of them, I don't know how many of them, already have aircraft runways. Means that the military jet can go. It's that aircraft carrier, more like a. Yeah.
But they're islands that have that.
There's a huge, these man-made islands, and also missile bases.
Okay.
Okay. Then now the problem is that the U.S. is going to, not only U.S., 8 countries actually. U.S., U.K., Australia, Japan, India. I don't know. 8 countries, their warships, they're going to South China Sea now. But U.S. don't have a weapon to fight with them. So they are in South China Sea as a target.
So hold on. Wait. So I just want to ask another thing. So the U.S. doesn't have any intermediate range missiles? Is that what you're telling me?
It's supposed to be. Supposed to be like that.
Why is that? That's because maybe they honored the treaty between USSR, between Soviet Union and themselves, the arms treaty, and they didn't make any. That's a good thing, isn't it?
Yeah, they're supposed to be like that.
So now, in this situation, they could possibly be screwed because they were honorable.
But see, that's a problem. When U.S. Navy going to South China Sea, going to Taiwan Strait, and if they made something, China can fire to them. They're just a living target. They just get out of 500 kilometers, 600 kilometers, 700 kilometers, 1,000 kilometers. They can fly anywhere to the U.S. target. That's why I think, of course, Trump did not point to China. Trump said to Russia, you did not honor your agreement.
What did Russia do?
Russia made.
Russia made them. Were they selling them too?
No, Russia did not.
They're not selling them. But they've been making intermediate because on the basis of we're not the Soviet Union. We're Russia. We're different.
I don't know how they say or what the argument is.
Okay.
But
anyway, they broke the treaty. So it's like when someone breaks a contract, then when one party breaks the contract's over.
Yeah, okay. Anyway, U.S. signed the treaty with Soviet, but Soviet does not exist anymore. Actually, on the paper does not mean anything anymore.
Yeah, it doesn't, because even before Trump said he wanted to pull out of it, since Russia violated it, it's null and void.
But this time, the real problem is not Russia, it's China, right?
Well, yeah, that's why the United States, that's why Trump had to make it clear that, okay, this is over.
Yeah. So China is very unhappy for this. Oh, it's a treaty between you guys. Why you brought us in? Why you mix us with this? We are not in your treaty. Of course, we're free to make anything we like. But you are in the treaty. It's your guys' problem.
So,
why you bring us to the problem?
Okay, so I want to know, has there been any reaction from China with Trump saying, okay, we're not going to do this anymore, which basically means, okay, we're going to make intermediate range missiles now. Has China had any kind of opinion on that?
Yes, China, the Ministry of Foreign Affairs spokesman said it clearly, this treaty is between you guys. Okay, nothing to do with China, and don't mess up with China. Don't bring China into your problem. This is not exactly words by words, but it meant exactly what I said.
Okay, no, I understand that, and you had said that before. What I asked was, has China had any reaction to the U.S. not doing it anymore, and now they're free to make intermediate range missiles as well? Has China had a reaction to the fact that the U.S. is now going to be armed with intermediate range missiles? Yeah. Not about the contract and breaking, that being over, the treaty being over between USSR or former Soviet Union and U.S.
Of course, the Chinese experts or the policymakers, they understand exactly what this means and how serious this is. And someone just put up a word says this can lead to arms race again, Cold War again. The nuclear war can happen anytime. Because up to now, all the nuclear weapons is big range, huge. It's that big that people cannot actually use.
Yeah.
But now they're making practical ones. They're making smaller ones, target certain islands that can carried by intermediate range missiles. So that is very dangerous. Okay, that if that race going up, you can put into practice. You can actually use it. Then that's something really dangerous. Then some Chinese expert come up with another idea. We should work together close with Russia. If China, Russia combine together, no one can defeat us. But this comes to two problems. US and Russia, who is actually a big enemy of China. So Chinese people have to think, how many land US taking from China?
How much land, huh?
How much land U.S. actually taking from China?
I think that would be 0.
Yeah, and how much land actually Soviet Union and Russia taking from China?
Ooh, I don't even know how many acres or how many. How would you even measure that?
I'm not expert, but I heard 1/3 of the land.
1/3 of China. As of what time? Okay, so China, when Mao Zedong was in power, and China now, China is 1/3 smaller.
Anyway, you go to study. I know the very recent is at Jiang Zemin's time. Jiang Zemin has given a huge piece of land to Russia.
Why?
We talk about this in another video. Okay?
I want to know. Wow.
Yes,
yeah, we better.
I will tell you. And also, when I was in China, I know the biggest enemy is Russia. Soviet Union, actually. We spent so much money and lost so many lives because we had to fight with Russia. I mean, Soviet, not US. Okay, this is one question. The second question is, even China and Russia can band together, fight with Russia?
Fight with US?
Even China and Russia can band together, fight with US? The question is, the intermediate range missile, where can China and Russia place? How can they carry to fight with Russia?
US.
How can they carry all this bomb fight with the US? They don't have a place. of course, they can try to send it by UPS or I don't know how can bring it here. There's no place for them for this range missiles to hit U.S. The only thing they can do is Japan or South Korea or Taiwan or
the difference between China, the distance between China and the United States is pretty far, and these are outside of that 5,000 kilometers. That's a joke. Only the long-range missiles could make it to American soil from China, but they would be seen and gone.
But long-distance missiles are very expensive.
Very expensive, and they're easy to shoot down compared because they're so long. Our radar sees them coming, and we have defenses all along California. Are you kidding me? That nothing, or it would be very difficult for a long range. I don't know how long it takes from the time that they launch it.
Yeah, you make a one long distance missile cost 50, 100, 200 times more expensive than that, and if you shoot down, it's a waste of money.
Than the intermediate range.
Yes.
But yeah.
Yeah. What a waste of money.
And it's it would be shot down.
Okay, this is the first question. But if US develop this intermediate range missile, they can put a huge good use. They have Guam. Okay? They have Taiwan. They have Japan. They have South Korea. They have aircraft carrier.
They have friends. They have friends.
They can
nearby.
place anywhere close to China or close to Russia.
But at the same time, that means that all of the U.S.'s friends in Southeast Asia are in danger from China with these intermediate range missiles.
Can you hold it? Yes, I'll check it.
And we definitely do care about our friends. We care about everyone, but we don't want anything happening to our friends. Leo, say it today, huh? You can do that at karaoke next time. I love that song.
Okay.
It should be like Jeopardy. Hold on. Da, na, 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 na. While we're waiting.
There's another thing U.S. is doing now. You know what U.S. is doing?
Lots of stuff.
Instead of start making intermediate range missiles, it's not making yet, but they can,
because it just
yeah.
And they kept their word, so we don't have any.
If they want to make
apparently.
it, they can make it immediately, no problem.
Of course.
Okay,
yeah.
And they
have
have
to find the technology.
no, and they have all the technology, but. U.S. also doing something very, very far away, with no treaty with anyone, which is U.S. building a space army.
A space army?
Yes. The U.S. space army can bring down all the satellites of Chinese or Russians or all this. If it's enemy, if it's going to be enemy, they can bring them down. Then the Chinese missiles cannot fly because there's no guidance from the universe. Okay.
Yeah.
Something like GPS. Of course, the Chinese does not use GPS system. They use their own system. They can shoot down, and also from the space, U.S. can shoot anywhere, any target, very precisely.
Already?
Yes.
Is this a conspiracy theory or is it true?
It is true now.
Is it confirmed?
I'm not sure. You're going to confirm this, okay? I heard this.
Oh, okay. The big question here is, does China have the same thing?
China only have satellites. They don't have this army yet. So it means the question is here, even U.S. is not mature in this technology, but it tells China we are doing it now. Would you like to have an arm race in the space? That would cost lots of money. And China now is short of money. China, because of the trade war, the economy is going down very, very much. And if China is going to compete with intermediate range at the same time during the space war, and plus their leaders needs to send their families, children, wives, and mistresses, and secretaries outside and bring the money outside, then the Chinese economy is going to...
I just want to know, where outside?
Somewhere in U.S. too.
I wonder why that is.
Don't ask me. I'm not Xi Jinping, okay? I'm not even a finger of here.
No, please, never and never be. Never.
Anyway, this is the point. U.S. has many cards to play. Okay, intermediate range missile is just one small card. And they can raise the arm race and the space, and China is going to spend huge money, and you will end up, I cannot say for sure, like a Soviet Union collapse, but we had an example.
Yeah. Nobody wants to see this happen. Of course. I mean, actually, I'm sure there are some people who are just, I'm sorry, but if you think, oh, it's great to actually destroy a nation economically or otherwise, then you're just not a very decent human being on either side. I don't care what side you're taking. But
So,
if you think a war is a good idea, then you need to maybe be in one and then see how it is.
yes, this is why, okay, I say it again, I'm not a great fan of Trump, and he looked very nice when he was young. Actually, he was very handsome, but now
Everyone was, kind of.
but I do think Trump does not really want to destroy China. So what exactly Trump's aim, what is exactly Trump wants? What does he want?
His goal, huh?
His goal.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
I think he wants to... Now, Trump is doing this kind of thing. Every time something he doesn't agree, he doesn't change the treaty. He said, I withdraw, I pull out from the treaty, and let's make a new one. So Trump, I did not call him, okay? I just had a dream. Trump had a dream, tells you, Daniel, I tell you the secret, okay? I don't really want to bring China down, but I want Russia, China, and the US sit on the table, make a new treaty. Let's agree that no one makes this missile, no one hurt each other, like world peace.
Well,
Okay, do fair business.
well, this isn't. This is just like when he's a businessman, so contracts can end if someone violates and it gets broken,
make a new one.
and you just make a new contract.
Yes.
And of course, I have a feeling the contract will be a little bit biased towards the United States since he's the one who initiated or whatever. But I'm sure it won't be unfairly biased, because then of course you can't get the others to join it. You can't get them to agree. Everybody has to feel that they're getting something out of it. But I think one thing that China is not good at, that Russia's very good at, Putin is so good at, and Trump is a master at, is, figuratively speaking, poker. China's very bad. They have a bad poker face.
Well, new.
Yeah, they're new, and their face always shows what's in their hand every time.
And they show more.
And more, yeah. And then they start turning the cards to show you the cards. Look what I have.
Anyway, and for the sake of the beautiful rose made, and for the sake of our beautiful garden, and please, and everyone call Trump, call Xi Jinping, and call Putin to make the agreement.
Yeah, come on, just get on with it, guys. Why all the drama? Why all the drama? I don't understand. Do they all want everybody to die and everybody's economy to collapse? What is this game they're playing? Seriously, we all know the meaning of life. The meaning of life is not to be stressed out and worried if you're going to be a nuclear bomb is going to come through your roof. The purpose of life is to live, love, be happy, enjoy your families, enjoy whatever your passion is, okay? That's the point of life. And to live, most importantly.
Yeah, okay. I'm sure all those leaders are much smarter than our ordinary guys.
Yeah.
And we just pray to God. And I don't even know if God wants this. Maybe God want war, want to see our fight. I don't know. Thank you, Allah, God, Buddha, and anyone in the universe watching us. We humans, we want to live. We don't want to die. Okay?
Yep.
Yes, that's the end of this story, and I'm getting better. I'm getting better because I see a hope. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, and my lady is beautiful today. Absolutely. Okay.
Thank you.
She's beautiful again.
Thank you.
This is because someone specifically said, I don't want to see you alone. I want to see you talk with your lady and you show some affections and you make some jokes and they're so interesting. At the same time, I can learn English.
Oh, very nice.
One stone, many birds.
Well, yeah, just as long as you know, one piece of bread feed many birds.
Okay.
We don't want to kill birds.
Okay. Okay. That's the okay. That's all for today.
That's the animal lovers saying.
Yeah. Okay. Then we see the cultural difference, huh? Okay. Yes. Good. See, U.S., China, U.S. can work together, and we should need a Russian lady here. Russian lady.
What about a Russian man?
A lady is better. Sure.